Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is CBAD. Welcome to the very first episode of our Road to Master Ball tier. This is an interesting series that, frankly, I'm just as equally nervous and excited to put out this series to the masses. But in this series, we are going to be taking on the ranked ladder in double battles in an attempt to learn how to play VGC this gen. I have been watching a lot of people play VGC, and I always think that with a limited decks, it's a great time to learn more about competitive formats that may or may already not be in effect. That being said, if you guys want to see singles battle spot on here, let me know in the comment section down below as well. But this is going to be the debut episode where we attempt to climb the ranked double battle ladder and get to the Master Ball tier. If you guys are excited, show some love in the like button. Of course, if you guys have any good rental teams that you want to show off, let me know in the comment section down below, because the first episode we've got a let me pull up here. This is through trainertower.com. The first team that we're going to be using is credit to HibikiVGC. I'll be sure to include the rental code as well as the link to trainertower.com down below. There's a lot of VGC resources down there, which I'm going to be using while attempting to learn what the hell I am doing here. But definitely go check out that website. If you guys are excited, like I said, let me know what you guys think. But we're pretty much going to hop into it. I don't know if I'm going to take on VGC as much as I want to, but as you guys can see, we have no battles on this ladder. We are hopping straight in double battle and out. We will show the opponent my battle team's info, and we're pretty much going to go with it. So VGC has always been something that is very interesting to me. Do I not have? Here's the rental team that we're using. We've got Air Balloon Tyranitar, Choice Band, Sandrush, Excadrill, Choice Specs, Rotom Heat, Leftovers, Milotic, White Herb, Hitmontop, and Citrus Berry Togekiss. That is the team. The rain team I was using in Battle Tower locally, but here we are. Let's try to find some good. Do we have? Here we go. I love Rose's theme. VGC has always been something that's very interesting to me. I really want to try to take it seriously this gen. If we find that this double battle ladder leading up to the Master Ball tier is something that we are good at, that I'm good at, then I definitely will consider. There is a local, how do I want to put this? Tournament, an event, a session, what do you call it when you go to events? It's not a regional. It's a local tournament for VGC here, coming up at the beginning of January that I'll go attend to. And if we're really good, then we're going to try to go to Dallas to check it out. So, yeah, take a look at my opponent's team here. He's got the Corviknight, Ludicolo, Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl, Frostmoth, and Dragapult. So what do I like in this matchup specifically? I love Rotom Heat. I love Rotom. And I want to pair that off with the... Let's pair that off with Tyranitar, I want to say. Rotom and Tyranitar, because we can get a double rocks off on something pretty early on. I do like Excadrill in this as well. And then Togekiss looks really well. So let's lead Rotom, T-Tar, and then we're going to bring Excadrill and Togekiss in the back. Like I said, there is a sanctioned event locally to me at the beginning of January, which if we do well enough in this, we'll try our best to go to and see how we do. And if we are not too well, then maybe we don't. But if we're really good, then we might see about going to Dallas for the first regional event. So going to lead off Corviknight, Rillaboom. So we got half right. I thought Corviknight would make a great lead, personally, but I also anticipated that Rillaboom would not be too good against us. We do float in the air with our air balloon. We can get a big hit off. I think what I want to do is I want to go for a Specs Discharge, and then I want to switch Tyranitar out. No, I don't want to do that. Let's Volt Switch into the Corviknight slot, and then let's switch out Tyranitar for Togekiss. We'll keep our sand around. I think that'll be good because I know Corviknight can be run pretty bulky either way, but I want to see how well this pans out. We do get a big Volt Switch off. He doesn't protect. That is going to be big damage, knocking out the Corviknight. So I'm not too worried about that thing anymore. I was worried if it did live and went for a Steel type move into the Togekiss slot. But now what we can do is we can... I don't think he'd Grass attack the Rotom. So I think what we're going to do is actually... I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to bring back out that Tyranitar. Because if anything, I feel like he would have targeted the Togekiss slot with Rillaboom. As he goes for the high horsepower. He goes for a high horsepower into the Rotom slot. But I've got my air balloon. Oh, so that was actually probably really good that we didn't switch out an Excadrill there. So don't know if that was a good play. Don't know if that was a bad play. But we're definitely gonna take it here. So he does go out into Dragapult. So he did bring the Dragapult here. I would love to go for a... Let's go for a Fire Punch into the Rillaboom slot. And then... I think Dynamaxing with Togekiss and going for a Max Starfall into Dragapult is a good play. I don't see... And he's actually going to Dynamax Pokemon of his own. Would he Dynamax Dragapult? He does Dynamax the Dragapult. So we make the good play in Dynamaxing our Togekiss and going for a Max Starfall into that slot. That'll be pretty beneficial to us, I feel like. And we'll be able to get, like I said, a nice Fire Punch off. I didn't want to Dynamax Tyranitar and go for the Fire Punch into a Max Flare, changing the weather. Because if we do, we could have always gone for Dynamaxing. No, because then we can't Dynamax twice. What are you talking about, Chase? Okay, we're going to learn. So we're going to Dynamax Togekiss and go for the Max Starfall here. Dragapult actually goes for Max Steel Spike, and that's going to go into our Togekiss slot. We are going to be able to eat that pretty nicely, and I believe our Citrus Berry pops as well. That was a crit, too, and we ate that. So he does get a defense boost. However, both Pokemon get the defense boost. And we see that it is Life Orb Dragapult. We do get our Citrus Berry, though, which is really nice. So it actually turned out well that we did get that crit, because we are going to get a little bit more recovery back off of that. We do get a Fire Punch off into the Rillaboom. It is a +1 Rillaboom, so unfortunately it's not going to do as much damage as I'd like it to. And Rillaboom's going to go for Wood Hammer into the Tyranitar slot. That's a huge chunk of damage. However, he does get recoil for that, which is fine by me. And we're going to be able to get the Max Starfall off into the Dragapult slot as well. And that is going to be big boy damage taking out the Dragapult. Okay. So he has no more Dynamax capabilities, which is perfectly what we want to see here. We do have Rotom and Excadrill in the back. I do like the idea of going out into Banded Excadrill right here. And we see that his Rillaboom is, of course, faster than our Togekiss. Let's go out into Choice Specs Rotom here, because regardless of what his last Pokemon is, it's actually the Grimmsnarl. So I think what I actually want to do is, if this Grimmsnarl is some sort of setup Pokemon, I do want to trick it the Choice Specs, and then I will go for a Max Airstream into the Rillaboom slot. And the Max Airstream will give us a speed boost for both the Togekiss being able to outspeed the Rillaboom on the next turn, assuming it doesn't die, which I'm sure it will. But we are going to be able to get the trick off into the Grimmsnarl slot. Maybe Leftovers or Light Clay we get. We get the Pixie Plate. So Rillaboom's going to go for the high horsepower. I don't know what he's trying to do there. So we're going to be able to get the Max Airstream off, and we're going to be able to knock out the Rillaboom. So we do have a 3-1 advantage over my opponent here. And we did cripple the Grimmsnarl into locking it into whatever move it wants to go for. Perhaps it does want to go for the Spirit Break move, as he goes for Play Rough. So that's going to be fine. We do lock him into Play Rough. He does get a crit on Togekiss. We still have one more turn of Dynamax left, which is fine by me. I think I want to go for an Overheat into the Grimmsnarl slot I think I overheat in a Grimmsnarl, and then I go for a max Starfall in a Grimmsnarl, and that is going to be game. I don't see how, and we do pick up the first victory of the road to Master Ball tier, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, your boy's just too good, man. VGC CBAD is in the cut. First win. Let's go. I am excited how that played out. I think I definitely am going to take some sort of... I'm not going to talk about how masterful I am at the craft of VGC just yet. I'm going to maybe discuss that we are very low on the ladder, and we perhaps faced an opponent that was not as skilled as ourselves, because he did go for high horsepower twice into the Rotom slot. So I know that is... High horsepower is the high crit move. What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Stomping Tantrum, where it doesn't want to, where it doubles if it fails. So my opponent's got, wow, Excadrill has a field day here. I think I lead off Sandcore, and I switch out. Wow. Okay, so I think I lead Sandcore. Rotom is great here again. And I think I bring the same 4, except I just changed it up. I think I just lead Sand. I think I'm going to lead Sand, and then Togekiss and Rotom in the back should be able to do really nicely. He's got a lot of grounded Pokemon on his team, and I don't know what that... Is that Gmax Machamp and Gmax Butterfree in that guy's card? I don't know what's going on with my guy's card here, but we are gonna... I love the fire context. I wish there was like a water blue context. And yeah, okay. So we're getting big damage off here. So Tyranitar actually isn't too bad of a lead matchup right now. I'm going to go for Rock Slide, and I'm going to go for Earthquake. And I really... No, I'm not. Because if they pop my Air Balloon first, Tyranitar is taking some big damage. So let's switch out Tyranitar. Let's Protect with Tyranitar. And let's go for an Earthquake here. Because if I recall, my opponent did have a gigantic ground weakness here. So we do go for the Protect here. We are going to see that we are faster due to our Sand Rush ability, and with the Choice Band, I don't see either of my opponent's Pokemon living unless they are Focus Sash. We are going to be able to pick up the double KO on the Heliolisk and the Jolteon, and this puts us in a commanding winning position here, leading off into this battle. Maybe if he has a Ludicolo, if he did bring the Ludicolo and the Cloyster, he can try to change up some weather, but he does have the Rhyperior, and he does have the Ludicolo here. So I would want to assume that... Let's see. Let's switch out into Rotom. And then let's go for the Earthquake here, because that is still a Choice Banded damage. I'm sure, like I said, I'd anticipate my opponents maybe want to Dynamax the Ludicolo and go for a Max Geyser, being able to change up the weather, but he actually doesn't Dynamax, and we are going to be able to get another Choice Banded Earthquake off. Rhyperior is not going to appreciate this, and neither is the Ludicolo. Ended up being a 3-hit KO on the Ludicolo. That's fine by me. The Hydro Pump comes off actually into the Excadrill slot. That's going to be big damage. I don't see Excadrill taking that in any way, shape, or form. That's fine. Excadrill did its job. It did pick up the 2-hit KO of turn 1. The Hammer Arm does come off into the Rotom slot. It is going to be doing a sizable amount of damage there, but that is fine by me. We do have our Togekiss in the background. What I feel like doing, actually... So I'm going to go on to Togekiss, and here's what I want to do with Togekiss. I think what I want to do... What do I want to do here? What do I want to do here? I can go for the Volt Switch. And go for the Trick into the Rhyperior. And then I'll go for the Air Slash into the Ludicolo. He does choose to Dynamax one of his Pokemon. I would anticipate he Dynamaxes the Ludicolo. But if you Dynamax, that's probably the better bet. And I don't know if we should have Dynamaxed our Togekiss there. Hindsight is 2020. I do need to remember that Dynamaxing in competitive is a key feature of this generation. But we are going to be faster. We're going to be able to trick that Rhyperior. We do get an Assault Vest, which will help us out in case of big damages here. But he does have a Weakness Policy Ludicolo here. So that Assault Vest is not going to help us out anymore as the Max Geyser comes off, probably into the Rotom slot. And with it being Swift Swim, this is going to be a little bit of a troublesome. So I think we do go out into Tyranitar to kind of change the weather here. We're going to go on to Tyranitar because we changed the weather. And then I think I Dynamax Togekiss to take out. And he misses the Stone Edge, which is really, really huge. And I think that is what truly secures us this victory here. Because as he is locked into Stone Edge, what I will do is change the weather here. Our Togekiss is going to be faster. I can go for a Crunch into the Rhyperior for damage, and then I will Dynamax and go for the Max Airstream into the Ludicolo, and that should be game. Because I'm not sure. I know Tyranitar is naturally faster than Rhyperior. The exact spreads on this team I'm unfamiliar with. And of course my opponent's spreads I'm not the most familiar with. But the weakness policy, I definitely thought it would have been maybe an Assault Vest Ludicolo or some form of a... I guess offensive. I don't think I would have necessarily anticipated weakness policy. But we are actually very fast with our Tyranitar. We do get a big crunch off into the Rhyperior slot. Max Airstream is going to take out the Ludicolo, of course. And then next turn, that is going to be game. So we're currently looking 2-0 in our road to Master Balls here, which these first few episodes, we're going to get some pretty secure wins. I'm not the VGC master, but I will be able to get some big damage off these first few matches in our progression. And then we'll kind of see where we go. I'd say I'm like a Great Ball tier player, but all of it is a learning process. So we'll just double into Rhyperior here. And our opponent should, it is polite to disconnect, but our opponent is going to let us secure that crunch and secure our second victory. Typically in these episodes, what I'd like to do to keep things shorter, I do want to get about 3 battles-ish per episode to kind of get a good feel for content, but I don't want to, keep everybody sitting here for hours on end. But I'm okay not checking out my opposing. I don't think I'm going to be too interested in my opponent's teams until we get a little bit higher up the ladder. We do get our second win. We're ranked 2. Rank 2. Here's some BP. Thanks. I needed those. And then let's get one more. Let's get one more battle in here. We'll get our champion music on. We're starting off great. If we can pick up 3-0, I'll tell you what. Speaking of 3-0, code CBAD to save 30% off your G Fuel. Dub Melon Mint is fantastic. Not out by the time this video goes. If it's out by the time this video goes up, get you some Dub Melon Mint. But if it's not up, keep an eye out for it. So my opponent's got Dracovish, so I'm scared. But my opponent has a pretty grounded team aside from the Braviary. I do like leading with my Sandcore, and I think the Sandcore puts off a lot of work. I think my Lotic might be beneficial here. I think let's lead Sand. I think my Lotic is going to be beneficial here. We do have Scald, Icy Wind, Helping Hand, and Recover. And then is Hitmontop the play? And then let's lead Hitmontop. Let's bring the other two. Sandcore looked really, really nice here. Braviary is the only Pokemon that truly appreciates the Excadrill leading off. And leading off with the Sandcorp, Braviary does come out, allows us to go for a Rock Slide with Tyranitar, as he leads off with the Mudsdale and Grimmsnarl. So a pretty bulky lead by my opponents. I think protecting with Tyranitar. How do I want to lead with this? Because if he starts setting up his screens with Grimmsnarl and Mudsdale's stamina is going to be pretty interesting. So I'd anticipate Grimmsnarl to go for maybe a screen of some sort. I think what I will do here is actually switch out Tyranitar for the... No, I don't want to... Here's what I don't want to have happen. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to switch out Tyranitar for my Milotic. And then I'm actually going to Dynamax right out the gates. And I'm going to go for a Steel Spike into Grimmsnarl. Because I truly feel like Grimmsnarl is going to be the lesser, the more important target to prioritize here. Especially given the fact that he can set up for screens, and then Mudsdale's stamina makes it just a little bit bulkier to take down. So I can go straight for the Dynamax and go for the Max Steel Spike into there. I would hope the Max Steel Spike does knock it out, but if he does get a Reflect Up, obviously that becomes a little bit more troublesome. But I know it's not good to shoot your shot turn one, but I am going to go for the turn one Dynamax here, as my opponent actually also turn one Dynamaxes. What I would anticipate is the Grimmsnarl, as he actually Dynamaxes the Mudsdale. Okay. So probably, okay, I can see a max ground move coming out into the Excadrill slot, which is not good to say the least, but as Grimmsnarl goes for the fake out into Excadrill, it's not going to work because we did Dynamax. So Dynamaxing was the play. We do get the Max Steel Spike off into the Grimmsnarl, and we are going to bring it down to its Focus Sash, it looks like. But with the Sand up, it is going to be able to secure the KO on the... It is going to be able to secure the KO onto the Grimmsnarl. With the Max Quake coming off, we do have the defense boost from Steel Spike. I'm curious to see if we live this. And thanks to that, I would like to say thanks to that defense boost, we do live the Max Quake coming out from the Mudsdale. As he gets a special defense boost here, that's fine by me. We are going to take a little bit of Sandstorm buffeting from the Milotic, but Grimmsnarl's down. And like I said, that was my biggest concern this turn. And we do get a Leftovers recovery, neutralizing the Sandstorm damage from the Milotic. He did get the special defense boost with the Mudsdale, so that does mean our Scald damages are going to be a little troublesome. But I can go for now a Max Steel Spike into Hatterene, giving us another defense boost. I'll actually go for a Scald into Mudsdale, and then I'll go for a Max Steel Spike into Hatterene here. That will give us another defense boost and maybe be able to take the second Max Quake from the Mudsdale. We are going to be able to knock out the Hatterene, so we're looking really good. It was a good opportunity for us to Dynamax turn one. That did prevent the fake out. I think he realized the threat that Excadrill posed to his team, so I do give my opponent credit for going for the fake out into our Excadrill. We do go for the Scald because the special defense boost it did get from the Max Quake that it went for in the previous turn. It is going to be able to take that Scald pretty handsomely. It also could be Assault Vest Mudsdale. We are not going to be able to live that, unfortunately. It could also very well be Assault Vest Mudsdale, which is why with +2 special defense, it is taking that pretty well. Which does make me want to... I did not bring my Rotom, did I? I think Hitmontop's good here because we do get an Intimidate drop onto the Mudsdale. And whatever his last Pokemon is, we're going to be able to get a fake out onto the Dracovish, which is really, really nice. The special move that Dracovish has, the Vicious Rend, does double in power if it is a +1 poke. If it does go first, it does have increased speed, so I will fake out the Dracovish and go for an Icy Wind, hopefully reducing that speed, so that way it is not able to get large Vicious Rend hits off onto our team. So fake out and sand damage will be some nice chip for this thing, which is good. We do go for the Icy Wind. We do connect into both slots, so we are going to be able to lower the Drakovish's speed by 1 stage. And that's probably my biggest concern. And this Mudsdale slowly just becomes more and more of a problem as he goes for the max Steel Spike into the Hitmontop slot. It is a -1 Steel Spike. Okay. So my Milotic has Recover. Ultimately, if this comes down to a stall fest between the two Pokemon, I will be able to go for those recovers. And I think ultimately what is important here is to go for another Icy Wind into both of these Pokemon. And I do want to switch my Hitmontop out into the Tyranitar. The reason for that being is because I will be able to get an Intimidate drop on both the Dracovish and the Mudsdale, which I feel like this might be a longer battle, unfortunately. And if I can Intimidate cycle on both of these Pokemon, it will be good for us. We are going to be able to float in the air on the Air Balloon. We do get the Icy Wind, so if he does go for a high horsepower into the Hitmontop slot or some form of ground move into the Hitmontop slot, we are going to be able to take that pretty well because of our Air Balloon. And by pretty well, I mean it won't hurt us. But the stamina boost, along with all the boosts that this Mudsdale has gotten, is just becoming absolutely atrocious. We do get a... He does go for the Vicious Rend. It is going to knock out our Tyranitar in 1 hit like I anticipated. He does have the Body Press, which is based off the defense stat, which is unfortunate because of all the multiple defense boosts that my opponent does have. That Body Press is going to be doing just a bit more damage. So we do want to attempt to prioritize the... Here's my issue. We do want to prioritize this. I think at -2, I think we're starting to be faster than that Dracovish. We are going to be able to get another Intimidate drop on both the Mudsdale, and then we do get the first Intimidate drop off on the Dracovish. I think... Dracovish is +1, -2 attack, and -2 speed. Milotic is +2 defense. I think what I want to do here is I want to go for a Scald into the Mudsdale. And I want to fake out the Dracovish. Because if I can get a burn on that Mudsdale, that really solidifies the timer that it's on. And we are going to be faster overall. So now Vicious Rend at -2 is still going to be doing not as much damage as it could be. And he does go for the Body Press one more time. We do need to recover with the Milotic here. We are in a little bit of a tricky situation. But I would assume, given the amount of HP that Dracovish is at, we are able to get a nice close combat off into it. We could also go for a Sucker Punch. Let me see how much HP it's at. Let's go for Recover. I'm going to go for a close combat on the Dracovish. I do want to knock it out because I think at that point my opponent really does not have any more opportunities to bring this back. I think with that on the field, it does kind of, with this off of the field, it does kind of seal our victory here for the 3-0. And we do snag a crit on the Dracovish. That's not going to matter too much. We do get the defense drop, so our opponent's Mudsdale will be able to go for super effective, or not super effective, but the Body Presses will be doing considerably more. We do get the White Herb. I forgot about the White Herb that was attached to our Pokemon, so we do get that White Herb. And he, oh my gosh, he actually just straight up knocks out Hitmontop. So this does come down to a battle of our Milotic versus the Mudsdale. And unfortunately, every time we go to attack this thing, we are going to be boosting its defense, which means Body Press is coming off that much harder. So we do need to get a burn on this thing. It's going to come down to if Milotic can pull it off here with that 30% chance to burn. We do not get that. We do have a few more hits hopefully we can take as the Body Press comes off. It is another +3 now. We do get our leftovers recovery here. I don't want I don't want to trigger another stamina boost, so I will go for a recover to kind of put myself into the best winning situation possible. I'm unfamiliar with how much PP body press has, and I certainly wouldn't want to stall my opponent, but I don't want to get us into a position where body press is doing over half. That's doing about 60 right now. So we should be, if we can get a burn on this Scald here, we should be in a position where even if it is a 2-hit KO from here, I would hope even through the special defense boost that Scald is going to be able to secure the deal. If we do get a burn here, that does kind of seal it, but it does not. That is that max defense already? I didn't see a stamina boost come off. So we should be able to recover up to a nice amount of health here. Milotic is going to be able to seal the deal for us. And I think if my opponent tries to break through, my opponent can still win. My opponent can still go for a crit and secure it, but it may be up to my opponent whether or not they want to play for that crit or how they want to go about it. Because they are taking a long time to think about clicking body press. Okay. Body press is the best route for my opponent to go for here. The body press does about 60 or so. I think I do want to click one more recover here just to make sure that we do seal. I do want to click one more recover here just to make sure that we are in the best winning position possible. Because if we do get out of range of a crit, we are out of range of a crit at full health. He does go for another body press here, of course. And that's going to be doing about 70 to us. So we are in a good position to click Scald here. And if we do snag a burn, that should seal the deal after the burn damage. But unfortunately, we have not gotten a burn this entire time. He does go for the body press. A crit will knock him out. It does not knock me out. And we are going to be able to go for one more Scald here. And we are going to secure the victory. So first installment of the Road to Master Ball tier, we are able to go 3-0, which is pretty awesome in my opinion, considering that I am not a doubles player by any stretch of the imagination. But good game to all three of my opponents. We learned a lot about remembering to Dynamax what is important and remembering how to use those Dynamax moves, those max moves to our advantage to be able to set up for different stat boosts and things along that line and stat drops for our opponents. We definitely know what we do need to prioritize there. And I think we did pretty well, actually, as far as we do get a bottle of PP up. Thank you. Thank you. I do not want to... Actually, you know what? Let's check my opponent's team. My opponent's team was pretty nice. So he did have Screens Hatterene with just Light Screen, actually, Helping Hand, Psychic, and Heal Pulse. Did have Choice Band of Dracovish, which is probably why, actually, probably why he did so much Tyranitar. But Choice Band of Dracovish there. He did have Iapapa Braviary with Protect Tail, Instant Power, and Air Slash. AV Mudsdale, just like I thought, with Body Press, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and High Horsepower. The Toxtricity, he did have Throat Spray Toxtricity, which probably would have been beneficial to my opponent to bring with Overdrive and Boom Burst. The Focus Dash Grimmsnarl, which we saw with Fake Out, Play Rough, Protect, and Taunt. And that was a pretty solid team by my opponent there. So what we're going to do is we are going to quit battling for this episode. Thank you guys. I hope you guys sincerely have enjoyed this. I'm really interested in getting to learn more about VGC and kind of doing more and doing better. We're probably going to, as we get these rental teams, do 2 to 3 videos per team, grabbing some ranked battles so we can kind of understand where our strengths and weaknesses are, hopefully getting around to crafting our own teams. If you guys have rental teams that you guys want to see, drop them in the comment section down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Seriously, if you thought I played like poop, let me know. If you guys thought I played really well, let me know. It's a learning experience. But all that being said, I'm going to remind you guys to be great and do great, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.